Massa said that we need to forget about the Epstein files and focus on the aliens. Um, I don't know if the old fart knows, but I believe that the majority of people on Earth assume that there are other people out there in the universe. It's too vast for it just to be us. And if it's just us, then God help us, because we can't be the only intelligent life in the universe. So yeah, I found that really amusing. And there's a lot of people who are going to go with that, and they're just going to run off and forget about everything else that's happening and focus on a little green men. So this will be interesting. The meth heads out there are really going to take this to heart. That Hegseth guy is probably going to be the first one to see one. Well, anyway, what is the FBI director doing in Milan, and why are Border Patrol agents running security for the Olympians representing the United States? I tee-heed and pee-peed in my pants a little bit, not gonna lie, when I seen them getting their asses kicked up and down the street by the locals. They wanted to show us how to do it and what to do. And maybe we need to take their advice to heart to fix these people and put them back in their place, since, we're the ones who pay their salaries after all. I don't fully understand some of the things that are going on. Like, why were the FBI outside the country? Why were they over there? What's going on? I know that they're trying to kick off that shit with Iran, like we talked about many times in the past. And how about the U.S. attacking the Western Hemisphere? They've stolen the Venezuelan president under false terms. They're essentially at this very moment starving out the Cubans. That's horrible. Those people are stuck on an island and can't get anything that they need, basic things to run other things that they have going there to keep their people sustained. So that's scary and dangerous. In Mexico, I told you they were going to go bother Mexico. I told you they were going to go fuck with Mexico. The U.S. is fucking with the cartel, and they are not going to have it. I told you they were going to go disrupt Mexico. They have to fuck with Mexico, because Mexico holds the largest deposits of fine-grained silver, grade silver in the world. They're number one, numero uno, in the whole world. They cannot let anybody, especially the Chinese, get hold of that silver. The U.S. has got to have it on lockdown. So they're going to do all kinds of things to disrupt the ability for others to operate in there, and for anyone to operate in there, until they can get it the way, a handle on it they want, and then they can take it and do what they please. But I don't know, big corporations and bigger countries have financial ties to that. But then again, it doesn't matter if the U.S. tries to take it over. If they can't run production, they'll just be holding that land, and there's nothing they can do. They can just starve them out. The world is starving us out anyway. That's the course of action they've chosen to take. The U.S. doesn't want to play with them, and so they've turned their backs, and they're not going to work with us. They're not going to trade with us. They don't have to sell us anything. There are many other countries in the world that are willing to pay for these goods from these other countries. They don't need us. The Trumpkins told those people at Davos that the world needed us to consume. We didn't need them. to produce. It doesn't make any sense to me, but maybe somebody out there can help me figure it out. I'm sure there's a maggot out there somewhere who watches my channel and says insulting things on my other pages to try to get a rise, but you're not smart enough. You're not witty enough. You're not clever enough. You're not emotionally grown up enough to have a real decent conversation and to comprehend basic things. So I wouldn't waste my time with you. But I know there's one out there, and maybe they can help us to understand this weirdness and this craziness going on, because it's beyond me. There's been so many other things going on in the world, and you know what? They're really distracting us from a lot of stuff that's still happening here. Yet we know all about, you know, the ICE people running around and attacking people in their homes and in the streets and in the schools and at their jobs, and it's just awful. And nothing really is being done. There are some places that are trying to help protect people, but their resources are limited and their abilities are tied. I do know one thing, and they're trying to find a way around it, and I think this is how they're going to do it. But listen to me. If you don't understand, try to understand it now. It wasn't a very hard concept if you would just read some of the laws behind these institutions. Now, Border Patrol, federal agents have no power if they are outside of their 100 miles from the border. They don't have any jurisdiction. They're not real cops. They have to abide by the local laws. Now, in them doing what they're doing, they are violating local, state, and federal law for being outside of their boundary, for operating outside their boundary, and they all should be arrested and brought to prosecution because they're all breaking the law. You know, if we run a stop sign, you people never give it up chasing us, but you got these guys running roughshod all over the country and you're not doing anything about it, Mr. and Miss Officers of the law out there. I think you're just mad because they're just pushing into your territory and you're not getting the bonus for the quotas. But I could be wrong. Maybe you really do care about your streets. All I know is now, since, you know, everyone has brought this little tidbit of attention to everyone's ears, and I think that the general public is beginning to understand. Now, this is how they're going to work around that. These so-called agents are deputizing the police. And the police will be directly working with these border agents as an extension of themselves to continue to assault and harass and battery and murder and kidnap American citizens, in addition to the so-called immigrants that are not here legally. So now that they're going to get the police involved, it's not going to be just a matter of the federal agents detaining, you know, maybe a couple of citizens here and there, or along with all of the other people that they're supposedly targeting. Now the police will be finding ways that they have used traditionally to stop and assault us and harm us and make us disappear. So it's even more important now than ever to be careful and to be vigilant and to not be alone too much if you can help it. If you have to be out in those streets, you need to be paired up. You need to let people know where you are and where you're going and where you're coming from at all times so that you can be protected. Because these are the times these people are really flipping out. I mean, there's more strange fruit going on these different trees in different states in this country just over the past couple months than there has been in a while. So we really need to watch ourselves. We need to watch each other, and we need to come together as a community and make sure that we're protecting one another, because it's going to get worse. We already know these people eat us. They have written cookbooks on us. We are so delicious, finger licking good. So we know that they like to harvest our body parts and our organs because they need that blood, and chances of there being O positive or healthier organs with better use case is going to be in the melanated population. So continue to be careful and watch yourselves. They have all of these other things that are going on, these laws. Project 2025 was not a joke. Project 2025 is real, and it's coming to life every single day. Project Esther is making its way up. You can see by all the laws that they've changed and all the things they've done. So what the Supreme Court said that the Trumpkin had to pull back his tariffs off of these countries, and now they're going to be cutting checks to the companies that overprice us on products and goods and services, and we're still destitute and broke. But they're going to be compensated for their so-called losses, even though they got it off of our pockets. So now we got the slave masters again getting compensated for the loss of their slaves. When's it going to end, people? Everything that we need continues to go up. And every day that goes by, it's harder and harder for people out there to find work. And if they do find work, if it didn't pay the bills before, it certainly does not pay the bills now. I feel for the people coming up and those who are trying to find employment, because it's harder than it's ever been. When I was a youth, it was very easy to get a job. If I didn't like the one I had today, I would just get up in the morning and go get another one. It's just that simple. And if you had a great resume and if you had a good work ethic, you could get a job and you could move up and you could do some things with your life. So I know that it's not that way anymore, and it's really sad. And remember what the Trumpkin said that he wanted to do to the homeless. He wanted to get rid of the homeless. He wasn't going to relocate them or help them find a better path or to prevent homelessness. He said he was just going to simply get rid of them. And it looks like he's on track to making homeless people so that he can get rid of people. Remember, we need to shrink the population so that we can grow it in another direction. And we can't shrink the population if the population keeps growing where we don't want it to. So we need to get rid of the colored people, and we need to get rid of the poor people, and we need to make room for the other people that they want in all these spaces. So there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of different things going on at once to feed the greed monster and to restructure this country in a different manner. We are going through another reconstruction, and if you are unaware of what's happening around you and the things that they're doing to make it happen, I'm sorry, I can't help you because it's bright, and most times I have to wear my sunglasses to look at it. So I don't want this to run too much further. It's almost 15 minutes. There really is a lot to unpack. Economically, we're doomed, and if you don't know that by now, then shame on you. You're going to have to learn how to understand this new form of money, because we are moving off, and we're taking the dollar and we're moving it away from the banking system, and we're going to be putting it on the blockchain, and that's going to mean a lot in a lot of different ways. And it's going to allow for a lot of these things that they're doing to come to fruition. And so you need to pay attention, and you need to observe, and you need to talk to your friends and your family and your loved ones and people that you care about. And you need to come to solutions for these everyday problems, and do it quickly, because we're running out of time. And there's a lot of things that will be unfolding within the course of this year. Just like last year was action-packed, this season is going to be action-packed too. And it's going to be a whole lot of stuff going on. And you're going to get caught off guard if you're not paying attention. So with that said, thank you very much for coming and visiting with me at my queendom. And I hope you all have a very good night. Talk to you later. Bye.